Let me bring in Newsmax contributor and presidential historian Craig Shirley. Craig, it's great to see you. I just got to give me your reaction to what we're seeing, history in the making here.
It hasn't happened since 1910, and that was a procedural fight between Speaker Joe Cannon and a House member from Nebraska, and really it was over rules, assignments, and rules and things like that. But it hasn't happened in over 100 years, so it is historic. Unfortunately, I think it's bad history, my personal opinion. Chris, I learned a long time ago working in politics before I turned to writing books that politics is about many things, but it's also about timing. And I think the Republicans picked a bad time to do this, to show to the world their divisions at a point where Joe Biden's at 35% approval and falling. The Democrats are in disarray over the border. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with the budget. They don't know what to do with the $31 trillion deficit. And at the very time, this makes it look, the Custer's Last Stand look like a wise military maneuver. I don't, and the thing is too, is I know what you're saying about spending and things like that, but some stories say that Matt Gaetz hasn't really articulated, he hasn't laid the groundwork of why this is this about personal political power? Is it about spending cuts? Is it about a vendetta against McCarthy? What is it about? He hasn't laid the groundwork for why he's making this taking this position.
Well, Craig,
I think
right, and if I could just interject here, I have heard Mr. Gaetz talking about certain things that spring up, and I understand the political concerns, and I understand team one and team two, and you want your team to win, rah rah rah. I understand all of that. But where the rubber meets the road as far as this liberty-loving Latino is concerned is the harm being done to our people, the harm being done to the citizens of the United States of America. And I think it is fair to say that in the 10 months that the Republican Party has been in charge of the House of Representatives, they have done nothing. When they've had the leverage, they've done nothing to stop the harm being done to our people. So isn't that the true measure? If you're electing a Republican to protect you from a Democrat, to protect you from the extremism that is overtaken this country, if that is your measure, and this is what Mr. Gaetz is talking about. He's talking about debt ceiling, the CR. He's talking about simple things like the January 6th tapes, for crying out loud, that were promised to everybody, which have not been delivered. Right. Promise after promise after promise after promise. So if you're looking at how the leadership has delivered on promises, it isn't like President Trump, promises made, promises kept. You have a Republican leadership that is 10 months into its tenure and has not delivered once. Am I being unfair?
No, I don't think you're being unfair. I think we agree in terms of the issues. What we probably might disagree on is in terms of the tactics. I would argue for staying unified, projecting a unified message, making the case against Biden and the liberal Democrats, regaining the presidency next year, regaining the Senate, strengthening the hold on the House, and then settling all scores, then working things out, then holding their feet to the fire on various issues. I just think they're operating from a position of weakness right now. 9 members of the Republican caucus doesn't make a majority. I just think
I concur.
It's a bad look for the Republican Party.
Yeah, I concur that it does seem to be a very small section of the GOP, the conservative section, that is taking this stand. And I really do wish it were more. Craig Shirley, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Again, historic day in U.S. history.